Oh man, it feels great to be back behind the camera. And guys, let me tell you, on today's episode, not only are we going to talk about the new iPad 10th generation, but we'll also recap the Apple event real quickly, and I'll explain why I'm going to do it quickly. All that on today's episode, and also football season's back, baby. Let's go Buffalo! So story number one, the main story, the iPad 10th generation. Now the iPad 10th generation has been Apple's biggest selling iPad for a very long time. It's selling very well with consumers. A lot of people really enjoy the cheap form factor, but also the value that's added in it. For $330, you're getting an iPad that not only can handle regular day-to-day use, but it's also a utility for people that want to save on a budget but get premium end features. One of the premium end features being Apple Pencil support, the smart keyboard, anything like that. And now we're hearing reports that not only will it be coming out in October, because we just had an Apple event, so it's not going to come out tomorrow, but now we're seeing that this might be the biggest refresh since the iPad's 5th generation reveal. So let's talk about all of that and let's really get into the details. So the last time I spoke about this, I made a short basically saying that the design was going to change. Now let's expand on that. So according to several reports from DigiTimes, so take this with a little bit of grain of salt, but we do have some CAT scans to show you, we can see that the new iPad is going to be housing that similar design that all the iPads have gone in. We are no longer in that symmetrical design. We are now living in the squarish-like design. And it seems that that is exactly the case, as the reports show that it will be reportedly getting a similar design to the iPad mini while retaining a lot of what the original iPad 9th generation had. It will still have Touch ID, it will retain a 10.2-inch display, it won't be laminated, so they are going to still keep the non-laminated version still going. And lastly, it will be around the, I would say, in terms of size, it will probably have about the same dimension of bezels, so nothing really there to tout about. But the biggest change is also reported that it will also move the speaker alignment because it will be more vertically, like, you know, this way that most people use their iPads. And it seems that that's the case, that it will add the 2 speaker arrays now at the bottom instead of the top, which is what the original CAT scans were showing. Why would they put it at the top? I have no idea. But anyway, the next thing that is reported is that it will also be making the switch to USB Type-C. Now, here's the thing. I don't necessarily believe that. I'm not saying it can't happen, but the reason I say that is because the iPad already supports Apple Pencil, the older generation, and the smart keyboard, or the whatever you want to call that thing. And the thing that bothers me is if they're going to put USB-C, then that means they'll have to support the 2nd generation Apple Pencil. Now, if they do it, that would be very good. But I don't know if Apple's gonna do that because they want to try to save costs and keep this thing at the $330 price tag. But I will say, because of the new design that is being reported, it is potential that we could see that happen. So we'll have to wait and see, but don't get your hopes up. On top of that, it will also be getting a spec bump with the A14 Bionic chip, and there are reports saying that it might support 5G. We don't necessarily know for sure. Reports are saying it will not support millimeter wave, as millimeter wave 5G is reserved for the pros, so it might take in, I think, sub-6 or low band 5G. So for you cellular knights, you now got your cellular in my show. And lastly, of course, it will retain the $329 price tag, but reports are also saying that they might increase the price, but only by $20 or $30 more if they add those extra features. Now, taking all of this in for just a moment and kind of processing it, I at first wasn't really too believing on these rumors. I still don't kind of believe it, because why would Apple make this thing more premium than what it's advertised? But the more I read the reports, the more I looked at the scans, the more I looked at everything, the more I thought to myself, Apple really understands that this is their best-selling iPad. This is the iPad that everybody will pull out of a drawer, just go on, use Safari, do what you want, read your emails, watch videos, and they don't have to put the best in this thing. They could to keep adding more value and get more market share, but in a market share right now where tablets aren't the biggest sellers, I don't necessarily see Apple really doing all that unless they really go all in. So there is a possibility this could happen, and the reports are starting to line up with each other, but we're just gonna have to wait and see when we get to October, and I of course will be updating you as we get more and more stories, so make sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you do not miss when I upload. Now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about now the Apple event. So the last story, the Apple event. Now, yes guys, I watched it. I did talk a little bit of it with Sneed Mobile Tech and Dennis from Best Phone Deals. I will be going live this Saturday night. I will give a more in-depth breakdown of the Apple event. I will go into more details, so make sure to check me out a live episode at Saturday night. But real quickly, just to kind of talk about it for just a moment, I really wasn't wowed. And I think a lot of that is in fact that we've already known what was going to happen because we've already been covering the reports, we've already been talking about it. There were a lot of cool things. I will give Apple a lot of credit for a couple of things, but I wasn't really wowed to the point where I thought, you know what, I really want to get that. For the last several years, I haven't felt that feeling because for me, I don't see any necessities to upgrade every single year or every 2 to 3 years. I'm starting to fall along the lines of going in the 4-year route because my iPhone 12 Pro Max is great. So the iPhone 13 Pro and Pro Max definitely wasn't on the table. When I look at the iPhone 14 and 14 Plus, which I am so glad they got the Plus back in the title, those I think are going to be the best ones that everybody's going to jump at, especially that 14 Plus. I think that's going to be the home run for this year. I think that is the model that's going to sell well. I can tell you that right now. The 14 Pro and Pro Max, they have a brand new design, no more notch. We do have a pill, which I will say is a better pill to swallow. You like what I did there?
Boo, you stink!
But in all seriousness, I actually think that it is great that Apple did keep the price because there were reports saying that they were going to upgrade the price. Yes, get there, upgrade.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Yeah, I better stop. But in all seriousness, I'm glad that they kept the price point. And as for the 14 and 14 Plus, even though they are using the same A15 chip, they did slightly modify it with an extra CPU core or a GPU core. I forgot exactly. We'll go into detail on Saturday. But overall, I really wasn't wowed. I just am happy that we're finally phasing out the notch. And maybe next year it'll be the one because who knows what's gonna happen next year with the 15. We'll see. Also continuing on the event, we had the Apple Watch Series 8, the Series SE model, and of course the Ultra, which I'm not a big fan of the Ultra, but I cannot lie, that is the most capable Apple Watch that I have seen Apple make. So I think that that's going to be a very good model for a lot of general people, which it's not supposed to be for, but people want a bigger screen and people are willing to pay a premium, so we'll see about that. But Series 8 and SE, those are, you know, just your general Apple Watch. I mean, they do a lot of cool features. They have temperature detection, which was something we've already talked about. They have a lot more help for women with men's, you know what, let's just say their time of year. I don't want to go down that because if I say it wrong, I'm going to get hit in the comments. So whenever that time of the month happens, Apple's watch will be able to, yeah, let's keep moving on from here. Next thing, of course, was the AirPod Pros. Now, this was actually the one that really let me down because I was expecting Apple to really go all in on the AirPod Pros. But I've been noticing for the last few models that Apple doesn't care about the AirPod Pros as much as you think. They're already the best-selling earbuds, so they don't have to do anything. The only big upgrade that they did was just a CPU upgrade. I don't care about a redesign, I don't care about a design. I'm a guy that's all about hardware, and I feel like Apple just cares more about the features and specs than the audio quality, and that's just my area. I like audio quality a lot more. So I was very disappointed in the AirPod Pros, especially that lossless audio is now out there. It would have been nice to have seen Apple maybe came up with a solution to support lossless audio wirelessly, but we didn't get that. So yeah, overall Apple event, not bad. I wasn't really wowed, it was just really but we'll see what happens in October. And that's it for today's episode of Technoid. Now guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, hit the like button. If you disliked the video, you can hit the dislike button to help circulate my videos as well. As always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I will see you all on the next episode. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Take care, stay safe, have a good day, and peace.